Welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Zone. I'm your co-host, Tom Spitalere. Bob is away tonight on assignment, but tonight I have some great guests on. So this show was set up to bring in different people in different views of the paranormal, from pagans to UFO to UAB to Bigfoot to cryptozoologists. They called it everybody, everything. So, and paranormal, obviously. Tonight we have a great team. We've had them on once before. We're going to talk about a few things differently this time, though. But we have a great team on from Peabody, Massachusetts, Deadtime Paranormal. So I want to welcome you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us back.
No problem. We got two guys in studio, and we got one guy calling in from Rhode Island. So we're going to have a fun time tonight. So let's go back to the basic questions first, and then we're going to get into this great EVP they brought. They brought a few more, but the technology here at the studio is a little slow. So we had the wrong computer because we got updated stuff and it's on the wrong size drive, but that's all right.
Next time,
because these guys are great. So I want to thank you for coming on. So how long you been in the field for, sir?
I have been in the field for probably around 8 years. Shane's been in it for a lot of years, and Robbie, our other co-founder, has been in probably 20 plus years. And Raquel's been probably all her life, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's had a lot of experiences growing up.
All righty. So what got each of you involved in the paranormal? Let's start with my favorite state, the island of Refugio, Rhode Island.
Well, for me, I've always been intrigued, whether it was the paranormal, whether it was cryptics, or whether it was anything that was in the unknown, so to speak. Just growing up as a kid, sitting down on the couch, watching a scary movie, my mom would have to hold my hand, but I got through it. But for some odd reason, I was just drawn into this stuff. And, I just started, as I got older, I just started picking up on it and just kind of doing my own research, and which led me into just eventually up in this area. I would say, obviously, it's a paranormal hotspot as opposed to Florida. And again, Florida does have its cultural histories, but it's more of a, piracy and with the Native American tradition down there in Florida. But we have a lot of different things as well. So, I've always been intrigued with it, but it's just a little difficult as opposed to up in the Northeast as far as, setting your foot down and going out with an investigative team and investigating per se, like up here where it's just kind of more prominent. So I'm just glad I made the move up here, and and that's where I met these phenomenal people, and they're great at what they do, and I've learned a lot from them. We've kind of rebound off each other, and we just mesh well, and I just love these guys to death. So I wouldn't have anybody in my inner circle more than these guys.
We love you too.
Thank you, buddy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great team camaraderie over here. But you know what you have down in Florida that we don't have up here?
What's that?
We don't have skunk apes, and we don't have St. Pete, which is the oldest colony in the United States proper.
You mean St. Augustine?
I mean St. Augustine, yes. I stand corrected on St. Augustine, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. St. Augustine is very popular amongst the paranormal community, especially because of the old lighthouse that we have down there. And I know the story behind it is there was a couple of girls, don't quote me, but I think there was a couple of girls who I think either drowned or something like that a long time ago near that lighthouse. But there's been a lot of activity just in that general area, period, whether it's just the lighthouse or just the grounds itself, the property, the whole entire state altogether. The United States, obviously, it just doesn't have to be a particular building. It could be the actual property itself, just from, whatever was there in the past, whether wars and, all kind of just things that had happened in the history of Florida. So, Yeah, so I mean, Key West as well. I know you've heard about Robert the Doll and that whole story down there in the Keys. So I mean, Florida has its pretty popular paranormal stories, but not as cool as up here in the Northeast. Obviously, with the Puritans and with the Native American lores up here and things like that, and that's what I love about up here, to be honest.
Yeah. Birdman, Bigfoot. Yeah, there is a lot more up here. But yeah, no, Florida's would be. Oh, you also got something down there. Well, we have one up here in New England too. Sea monsters.
Me too.
I forgot about sea monsters. There's a
I've seen a big. I've seen a few big crabs.
Yeah, there's a great book that came out a few years ago about sea monsters and lake monsters in Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Written by local. Well, the guy was local from up here. But he's also lives in Florida now full time, so he's no longer from this area. Dave Guzwad. He's actually on the board of directors, or was last time I knew, on the International Cryptozoology Board of Directors.
Wow.
But yeah, he's from Havel originally. But his brother runs the New England Horror Authors Association.
Didn't know there was one.
Yeah. So you there, and when you with horror movies, that's kind of comical because I'm the same way. I can't sit and watch a horror movie because I'll be scared for months. But put me in a house full of demons, and I'm right there without a problem.
There you go.
All right.
Well, I mean, like with horror movies itself, there's different branches of horror. Like I'm more into the paranormal end of what you consider horror, like
Right.
the supernatural stuff, like the ghosts and the things like that, like the Conjurings and the Annabelles, the Nuns, just anything that's kind of related to more of a supernatural, as opposed to like Leatherface and like serial killers. I wasn't really too much into the serial killer stuff, like
Right.
it and all that.
And Freddy
Yeah, no.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I have watched horror movies though. I've watched all the Conjuring.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're at least loosely, and I mean, quote, loosely based on the paranormal, loosely, at best. So, yeah, no, I kind of chuckled when you said about the horror thing, because I even watched...
Oh, yeah, ask Stan. I have,
Ask Shane about his
ask
tattoos.
Stan. I actually have the nun tattoo on my arm, and I also have Annabelle tattooed on my forearm, and I also have the Conjuring tattooed on my arm as well. So pay a little homage.
You're waiting for the last movie to come out, I bet.
Oh, The Last Rites, absolutely, sir. I cannot wait.
I'm actually going to probably go see that. I've done some research on it. Looks like something I am going to go see. So let's, how about your ride into the paranormal?
Me? When I was a little kid, probably, 10, 12 years old, I was in the bedroom with my brother, and we used to have these, it was an old house, old glass doorknobs. I don't know if anybody remembers them, way back.
I've seen that.
And they're really hard to turn and really noisy when you do turn them, so we were in bed one night, and it was the winter time, so there were no open windows or anything like that. And we were talking, and the bedroom door knob turned, and it opened, and the closet door opened up all the way, and I was out of there. Ran into my parents' room. I said, I am not sleeping in there. And ever since then, I've always had this itch about wondering what could that have been. And now here I am, a paranormal investigator, trying to figure it out.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And, of course, the last person we're going to ask is their team psychic, which I already know the answer to this one. Anybody who has psychic ability.
You're going to need more than an hour.
Yeah. All right,
Did I
you're
pull it
on.
out?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're on.
It's Raquel.
Raquel, you're on.
I'm on.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
You're all set.
I'm all set. So the question, when did it start? Well, how about we go here? what do I remember?
Okay, we'll go with that.
Because I had tea parties with dead people. My mother used to say all the time with my grandmother and this and that. But I don't remember any of that. But what I remember, I was probably about 14, and I was sleeping in bed, and I used to sleep in the dark at that time.
That was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago, no problem. I love it. I wish.
Hello.
But yep, and I had a chair sitting next to my bed, and I just happened to wake up, and there was this old man looking just like you, not even transparent, just like another human being, just staring at me, watching me sleep. And those days, we had the flip light, so you hit it up, goes up, you hit it down, it goes down. I was like hitting it up and screaming, and but that house, oh my God. To this day, it's not a quiet home.
Are you still in the home?
No, actually, my brother just sold the house recently.
We have to get in there and investigate.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot.
But I wasn't the only one having experiences, though, in that home. We all, me, my brother, my sister. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you started young.
Very young, yes. So many things have happened. I could tell you so many stories. Now, that's the funny thing. My grandparents actually built the house in 1949.
It's old, but not that old.
No, so I'm thinking
That's new.
Yeah.
it has to be something with the land.
I wonder what was there beforehand.
Because it was all land, because my grandparents built theirs, my great-grandfather built his, and then his brother built his next door. So, it was all land. I know.
Remember the EVP that I got there? We investigated there. We got in there, and we investigated, and I got an EVP saying, "God save the land." What it meant, no idea, but it kind of corroborates what's going on.
Land. Yeah, so whatever it was attached to the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Now
so.
you have to go back in the town's history, what town that was in.
Reading.
Reading.
See,
And
that's the fun part about the paranormal is, and you can ask Stan this too. I love the research end of it.
Yeah, me too. I love doing that. That's the fun part. You'd have to pull the old Reading history books and see what was there.
I have to see what was there because
Prior to the land, I imagine. Well, Reading did have its Native American and English problems, so there might have been some type of. And yeah, we talk about war in New England, and we talk about the French-Indian War, and you read about it: Fort St. Francis, Fort Carillon, Fort Kent, Fort this, the garrison here, the garrison there. But oops, put the brakes on. There were a lot of little skirmishes that don't even make the news back then. There was no news. You have to actually find it in someone's personal diary somewhere if you go look gossip, or in a town history book. I mean, there was one area in Haverhill called the Pinoza Triangle.
Oh.
Okay? And it's a big area, and it has a lot of different activity in it. And I had done a ton of research on that thing. And one day I was doing something, and I came across one little. Now, Chase's History of Haverhill is like my Bible for Haverhill. That's like the town history. It's real thick. It's up to 1860. So anything from 1641 on, you can learn information about.
Wow.
I found online. I've read that book so many times, but it's one of those things you read, but it's fact after fact after fact after. So there's a lot of things the human brain don't retain.
Right, you need to retain it.
There's a thing in there, 3 sentences long, about a wild man of the North Broadway, East Haverhill. The wild man of East Haverhill, Alva Frink.
How do you know his name?
I found it because they had it written. He was a Sioux War veteran
Okay.
who came back. And Alva Frink
Wait,
is
did you say he was a Sioux SIOUX warrior?
Yes. Sioux War veteran that didn't stay out west.
Oh, so he was part of the Sioux Nation.
No.
Oh.
You know when you watch those old cowboy and Indian movies, you have the people fighting the Native Americans, like the soldiers from the Civil War era?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that era right after the Civil War was called the Sioux Wars, 1870s, 80s, early 90s. It was basically the Native American removal of the American West. They fought in it. Now, most people were paid by land. So you get your land and you live out there.
Yeah.
He didn't want to live out there. He came all the way back to Havel, sold his land, came back to Havel, and put a cottage out in the woods.
Okay.
Wow.
And lived like a wild man. He probably had a few things.
Well, you never know.
Because back then they
I'm sure he had a few wild stories.
Yeah. So he's buried actually at Hilldale Cemetery in Havel.
Oh.
That's the cemetery I run. But I didn't know that about I happened to find him cleaning stones. His father was a Civil War veteran from Havel. And I see this guy, Indian Wars.
Oh.
I'm like, well, that's not the F&I War. That's got to be the Sioux Wars. There's not many Sioux Wars. So I go to, great thing about Massachusetts is our war records are all online.
Ah.
Oh.
From the American Revolution all the way back. So you
Yep.
just got to know how to access them, but you could get them. I found the guy.
Wow.
The regiment was in and everything.
That's some digging.
Yeah.
Hey, so, but the French Indian War, there were a lot of battles and skirmishes on land that weren't really marked.
I believe it.
So, I mean, what happened on the land was probably something early, and that's probably one of the bloodiest wars fought on the...
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because you look at the French Indian War, it was French and their friends, the native, and English and their natives.
Oh.
And then you have the American Civil War that was brother against brother.
Mm-hmm.
The American Revolution was also brother against brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the first civil war in this country. So some of these lands go way
back. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes
Yeah, you gotta love history.
No, that's what makes the paranormal what it is, history and science.
Absolutely, it's actually a big important piece of the paranormal too. Basically it is history. I mean,
And
you know, from stories from a long time ago and how things happen to the current days. You know.
right. I mean, you know, you get a story, and you guys have probably dealt with this. You know, you can talk about it if you want. You know, if you have. Oh, I hear little children in the basement. You probably get that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Here too, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm talking about the older homes. Here, that was due to the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, why would be children in the basement in old homes?
Are they children?
Yeah, first, are they children?
Right.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, right. The other thing is, where was the well?
Right.
Usually in the basement of those, especially the 1800s homes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the federal style homes that you get a lot of calls in.
They all had wells.
They all had wells in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess where the unwanted children ended up
Oh.
Ah.
most of the time.
Don't drink the water.
There's no record of that.
Yeah.
But
But yeah.
through EVP and research, you could pretty much figure out that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we had a case in Sandown, in the Sandown Triangle, that was that there were 3 wells on the property, and every freaking well we went to, you could know there were kids in it.
Really?
Wow.
How'd you know that?
Because a couple of the psychics felt it.
Oh,
Then
okay.
I had one kid wanting to come out and say hi. He wanted me to channel him.
Wow.
Wow.
So that was even more interesting.
Yep.
And then come to find out, the house was a carriage stop. Well, a train stop. First a carriage stop, then a train stop. That actually had slaves working in there.
There it is.
Wow. Yeah.
And a white male owning the place.
Okay.
And
Say no more.
And in one of the basement wells, we caught the. I guess the white man liked his slave a little too much.
Okay. Most of them did.
And back then, today it's very common.
Mm-hmm.
It's accepted, but in the 1890s,
No.
that was not accepted into the well.
Right.
So I mean, in
Wow.
wells, water, they hold energy and
Oh yeah. Big conductor.
big conductor of energy. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
interesting.
Definitely a conduit, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. So I mean, that's something we'll get. Now I know you guys brought a couple EVPs, but obviously you got one.
I got one
So
that we know you can
let's
hear.
first of all explain to our great listeners all across the Great Divide, just in case we have new people who aren't familiar with the paranormal, on what an EVP is. Who wants to take that?
Go ahead, Stan.
Electronic voice phenomenon, which is, you get a voice recorder, which is kind of like a tape recorder. You ask questions and you record, and Sometimes you get things and you don't hear it at the time. If you do get a recording, when you play it back, sometimes there's voices on there that answer your questions, and that would be an EVP, supposedly.
And sometimes, as we know,
Yeah,
you
sometimes.
can be out there for 4 hours and catch.
Yeah. People, investigating is as fun as it looks like on TV. It's like,
It's like fishing.
yeah. I mean, it can be kind of boring, but when you do catch something, it's pretty exciting. But you spend a lot of time trying to get these EVPs and all that stuff.
Especially, it's well worth it too when you get a Class A. We're talking an intelligent question.
Yep.
And then clear as day, you get an intelligent response. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Nope.
So if you ask a particular definitive question that only you know, or per se your group knows, per se, about the history or the location or whatever the case may be, like what is your name, and you know the name of this person that might have resided in this house, and clear as day you ask that question, and then boom, you get that answer, and you're like, oh, I'm telling you, the feeling is just like, man, that was just like freaking awesome.
You can't make it up.
No.
So how many divisions? Some teams use A through F, some use A through D, A through B. How many divisions you guys use?
As far as class A, B, probably up to D, A, B, C, D, about that.
Yep.
A being the best, of course, and B's being pretty good. And, sometimes you have to really listen with headphones and listen to it 5, 6, 7 times before you can figure out what they're saying. It gets a little staticky, a little hazy. But if you listen to it enough, sometimes you can really figure it out.
And your D must be something's there, but we can't figure it out.
Yep. Sometimes it's a voice.
Yeah,
it's a response.
It's just unaudible. Like you can't understand it. It's just unaudible. It's just.
It is a response, but you just can't make out what they're saying.
Right.
Which is still exciting.
Yes, it is. All right, so let's play this. You want to do a quick background?
So this was a residential case we did probably a month and a half, 2 months ago maybe, down in Rhode Island, and the homeowners left. So we were doing an EVP session, probably the first EVP session we did, and I asked a question, and there was a response, which collaborates when we asked the homeowners when they came home about this, and they confirmed that there was a person by this name, but we'll let you listen to it.
We'll play it a couple times.
Couple,
so
yeah.
can really listen.
All right, here we go.
What's your name?
Carmen?
Wow.
You want to hear it again?
Yeah.
Do you know what they said?
Carmen?
Listen again.
I missed it. I thought I heard Carmen.
Yeah, I'll turn it this way.
What's your name?
Carmen?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, because I keep hearing Carmen.
It's Carolyn.
Carolyn.
Oh, Carolyn. Okay.
Carolyn. That's a kind of got like an Irish accent to it, if you ask me. So when the homeowners came home, we played it for them, and they said, Carolyn? He said, yeah. Oh, my God, she says, that was my stepfather's girlfriend or something like that she wasn't a nice person, I guess, or whatever. So she was kind of crapping herself because she was around, and we couldn't believe that we caught that. Of course, the rest of the night was quiet. It's always like the first 2 EVPs you do, you always catch something, and then it kind of quiets down towards the end. But it was a good night all in all. We'll be going down there in probably another week and a half to reveal all the evidence we caught.
We were as a group, we were pretty pumped about that response. That was
That's a Class A.
Yeah, no, that's a great one.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that because the woman who owned the house, her name was Carmen.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
When you say Carmen, other people have said that too, but if you listen to it with the headphones, slow it down a little bit, you can hear Carolyn,
Oh, yeah, because it's got that
and
Irish.
what's strange too, if you notice the tone of the voice. I mean, we're talking to Stan had mentioned something. It kind of has like a Scottish or an Irish accent to it.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, so obviously the lady was of
Yeah, she was. Yeah. But we cleaned it up, and we're going to play her a better version of it without, any background noise or anything like that. So we clean it up nice and make it nice and audible for her.
Wow. So, well, at least you found out what's there. Now, sometimes, yes, we do find things out that the clients aren't too happy.
No, well, it is what it is. It's.
Oh, see, Michaela heard Carmen, too,
Oh, really?
on the response.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
But like again, when you put on with headphones,
Right.
it's a
From
different
this
story.
view, that's what I
If you get a
kept
good set of
hearing.
headphones, it's amazing
the
what you can hear.
headphones, Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you use the headphones. I was just listening
Yep,
from
yep.
a distance.
We get that a lot.
Yeah. Well, because of the accent. You need
Yeah.
the headset to hear through
Totally.
the accent. We're out here, we're just hitting play and going,
Yep. True.
this is what we got,
It's okay.
which is interesting. And hopefully that helps the client a little bit understand what's going on.
Oh, we got a bunch of things, but
Bunch, yeah.
I mean a lot of stuff.
Oh,
but,
good.
But that was one of the better ones.
That was one of the better ones, yeah.
Well, that's good. So, that's excellent. So, and that to me is a Class A, by the way.
Yeah, we got a few. Next time we come up, we've got a bunch of them.
We got a bunch of good ones, yeah.
And we'll do a show on EVP or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Because EVP, I mean, there are many things involved in the paranormal, as we know.
So many.
EVP, video,
Yep.
audio, which
Yep.
audio's EVP, but audio, video, what psychics and mediums pick up, what equipment picks up.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, there's so much that goes into this. It's,
Pricey too.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very pricey.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. I can own stocks and batteries at this point in my life.
Yeah. Well, you're pretty much an old school guy, right?
Yeah.
As far as equipment goes?
Yeah.
I mean, you must have caught some stuff.
All through the years. we've
Yeah,
got
I'm sure.
things. My favorite stuff is using the real old school equipment. My team gets very upset with me.
No. You know, but you can't debunk it.
No. I mean, I pull out the old video cameras. You would like this,
Shane.
I think. Oh, him?
Shane, he'd love that.
Yeah. I pull out video cameras that are like VCR cameras. The old VHS.
Now you're
ones.
talking my language.
Because the slower aperture.
Yep.
I mean, is it a pain to go through? Yes, it is. I'll fully admit that
Yep.
one. But the slower aperture speed, you're bound to catch more. Same with 35 millimeter flash cameras.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of stuff came up on that.
Digital's great. Take 3,000 pictures, especially with a 50 gig
Yeah.
memory card or
Right.
500 gig memory card. You take as many pictures as you want.
I was thinking of going back to the old school tape recorders. I mean, I know some investigators do that.
I do that too, yeah.
There you go. I mean, you can't debunk that. I mean, that's old school, and it's thing is you can't put it on the computer and clean it up and do what you want with it. But that's legit.
Absolutely right.
That's totally legit.
Totally legit.
Yeah.
I've actually got away now with a battery pack. I haven't used it yet, but I'm bringing out something a little older.
Yeah.
My next case.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Reel to reel.
There you go.
my God.
Yeah.
Reel to reel.
Beautiful.
What's his name? Got some great EVPs on that. Dr. Hans Holtzholz.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's all he did.
Yeah.
It was all reel to reel.
All reel to reel. And that's, I mean, I know we live in a modern society,
Yep.
and you watch the TV shows we all do.
Oh God. Yeah.
We're not going to bash any one particular show. Oh, you don't watch the shows over there?
Shane,
I plead the fifth.
I knew he would.
There's only really one show I watch, and I'm grandfathered into it, so I don't pay attention to any other shows really. But I'm just so busy with work.
Yeah.
But I do watch it when I do have the time.
What's that show?
I probably ran through all 20 plus seasons over and over again on a loop.
What's the name of the show?
Ghost Adventures.
Oh, Ghost Adventures. Okay. I used to watch all the shows, and then when they took John off the air, I had John up here in the Thorn one, Zaffis. I was very upset because he's actually the only one that actually researched everything.
Yeah.
When they pulled Haunted
Did you say John Zaffis?
Yeah, the Haunted Collector.
Oh, okay.
That's,
Yeah, the Haunted Collector. Yep.
He at least researched things and knew what he was talking about, and had respect
Yep.
for old stuff. These other shows are just
Too much tech.
Yeah.
way too much tech. I guess tech sells.
Yeah, exactly.
okay to a point,
exactly
but-
what Stan. Yeah, exactly what Stan said. Use the old KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
It
you know,
worked for years.
When you're And I'm getting pretty bad about that too. Honestly, I kind of want to downsize, and Stan knows, like, I'm always talking like new tech stuff, and I'm just like, when you're going into an investigation or location, honestly, I think it's just so much easier, and it's so much smoother when you just have just a handful of things, to be honest, because just the simple stuff works. You bring your recorder in, basically that's, kind of all you need, because everyone knows you yourself are your own best piece of paranormal equipment.
Right.
Exactly. And just maybe a handful of things. And I'm a happy camper,
Yeah,
I just want to throw my equipment case out the window.
No.
Jimmy Carter had those.
There's only so much I can use.
Right.
Only so much time.
He uses it all. But he goes through relatively. It's depending on the situation too. My tech guy knows what's the older the house, the age of the house. So, if need be, then he'll pull out the radon.
Yeah.
Detect. If it's a new house from the 70s and we're not up in Granite State, New Hampshire, and it seems to be okay, we're not going to pull out the radon detector.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a lot of different equipment. But I like using the old stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
A lot less buttons to push too.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, some of this equipment's got plenty of buttons to push. Plenty of buttons to push.
Too much stuff to carry and lug around, and you go home and it's like, I didn't use half the stuff, and it's, I brought it for nothing.
Right, and you lug it all in.
Oh my God, I know we've done that so many times.
Oh my God, yeah. Suitcases of stuff, and it's like, why didn't I use this? Why didn't I use that? It's like,
we have it all laid out on the floor, and then we end up using maybe
half
3 or 4 pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you do that, you're done.
Yep. And it's like, why do I do this? You never know.
I did a case in Salem in the business. I had myself, my tech manager, a psychic with me, and an investigator. And I brought everything.
Oh, I'm sure.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
I probably used about 20% of the stuff.
Yes, and then you walk out of there like, why?
And then I have to put all the stuff back at night.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
It goes all to my house, and I'm the only one there that will go to my house because it's late.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the one that's going to unload the car.
Yeah. And charge all the batteries up before you go, and
an hour to load.
Yep.
An hour and a half to unload.
Set it all up, cameras and all that, and it's.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I like
good.
using my old video cameras.
Oh yeah. You must have some stories.
Oh yeah. Some of the better ones, though. I like it when, and same probably with you guys. It's nice when we're there to help the people.
Absolutely, and when you have answers, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to go back 2 or 3 times to get
Yep.
those, but I'll go back 2, 3, 4, 5. I had a couple of years ago. I had a guy call me up. He had this issue in his house, locally here in Haverhill, not that far away.
Yep.
And I went, and we didn't catch anything that night. And he goes, "You didn't catch anything?" I said, "No." He goes, "So who's the next team?" I call him. I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, the last 2 teams I had in here only come out once." I said, "When would you like me back? Because I come back, and I keep coming back to solve your issue."
Right. Good.
He goes, "You do?" "I do."
Surprise.
Surprise. "Oh, you're not just one and done?" I said, "Any team that's one and done might as well just give up the field, because everyone's to make the field look bad.
Yeah.
Can't be one and done."
They want the fame.
Yeah, how many? Yeah, the fame.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck with that one. The fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't hold your breath.
Yeah, exactly. How many times
even
you been
like
back to a house?
2, 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going back to another one in Peabody probably in another couple of weeks. Be our 3rd time there.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, and we got plenty of stuff.
What's great about Deadtime Paranormal is the fact, just bottom line is we're about just helping people out. We're just about helping them through it, getting them answers, anything that they have questions about, or just things that are just unknown. We're there to help. And, whatever it is that they need help with, we're there. We're more than happy to help them out any way that we can when it comes to just unexplained. Not everything's paranormal, but we're going to do the best that we can to figure things out for them.
Right, and that's what really matters. Years and years and years ago, I think it was my 4th or 5th case. In fact, none of the team was left in Essex County. They're all new members since that day. I went into this house. I had my VHS cameras.
There you go.
And the lady goes to me, I think we called the wrong team in.
Why's that?
Why's that? She goes, I watch TV. You don't have a DVR system. I do. I'm bringing it in. Well, I said, this is a big house, and we'd already gone through it, that I needed 12 cameras. Well, this doesn't look like what I see on TV.
She fell right into it.
I said, you're correct.
Yeah.
It's a little different than on TV. We actually get results and try to help people.
Yep.
So I set up all the equipment. She's like, wow, that took a long time. Mm-hmm. We need
Well, you don't necessarily need all that type of equipment to get answers.
No, but I wanted cameras in each of the rooms where there was paranormal activity.
Yep.
So I set up 12 cameras, 12 TVs.
It's a lot of setting up.
A lot of setting up to do.
You wireless or are you?
No, wires. 3,000
No.
feet of
Oh,
cordage.
God.
So I set it all up. When we were all done, she goes, where's your digital recorder? Oh. At that time, I didn't have a digital recorder.
Uh-oh.
Now I do.
Yeah.
I use cassette tapes. She's like, I guess I've got to call another team in after you guys leave. I said, you do what you want. We finished the investigation. She called me 2 days later. Have you gone through all the evidence yet?
2 days later?
2 days later? No.
Doesn't work like that.
Give me about a week. I got the team together. We went through everything. We got shadow figures on videos.
Here it is.
We had stuff elevating out of everything she said was going on in that house. We caught.
Good.
Caught a couple EVPs. One told me to get out.
A lot of them do.
Yeah. Another one hit on the female that was with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
how you doing?
You know, that type of deal. The psychic I had at the time, she was hit on. So I called the client back and I said, we have some evidence for you. When can we meet? She goes, there's no way you got evidence. I said, we got evidence. When can we meet?
Mm-hmm.
So we set the day I'd go to the house. She goes, hold on a minute. She goes in the kitchen. She picks up the phone, cancels the other paranormal team.
Oh, that was quick.
She's like, I go, yeah, I just canceled it. I said, oh, yeah. She goes, I was going to call another team in because with this old equipment, I didn't think you were going to catch anything.
Wow. Well, there you go.
I said, the old equipment works better because it moves at a slower speed.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes these spirits don't have enough energy to deal with the digital age. So the digital age, I said, digital isn't bad either. You got to use both.
Yep.
But this is the way we work.
And it works.
Yeah.
I ended up getting 3 more cases from
Ah.
that lady.
There you go.
And then she apologized.
Oh, good.
Well, because old stuff, as you know, you use some of the newer stuff. I mean, I bought this thing because it supposedly picks up a few different things. I haven't yet figured it out.
What is it?
It picks up, it's like a millimeter, but it isn't. And anytime it goes, it's a millimeter. It works like
Not a
a
REM
millimeter.
pod.
What?
Not a REM
No,
pod.
it's not a REM. I got that.
Okay,
I understand.
all right.
It's a thing about this big,
Mhm.
and anytime the UV or the EMF goes real high, this red light goes off, and then there's another setting on there where the red light goes off. It's some type of meter that picks up electromagnetic fields, but I think it picks up radio fields, and there's something else it picks up, and I haven't yet figured it out.
So it's all built into one, like 4 different things.
Yeah.
Is what they're doing these days, you know? So you don't have to carry around so much stuff.
It's only this big.
Yeah. You know?
Is it accurate? I've used it with the stuff that I trust, and it seems to be working.
Okay,
But I
good.
don't know all the... It's
You
just...
don't know how to, yeah.
It's a little much when you're trying to investigate with
Yeah.
the same bells
Yeah.
and whistles when you're used to it.
Yeah.
But someone said, you should get this. This works great. It wasn't that much money.
Okay, even better.
Well, sometimes, those things will surprise you.
Right. But So
On our past 2 investigations, we've had a visitor on our ghost box.
oh, nice.
Yes. Yes. And I do have an EVP, but I don't know. It's nothing like the first one. But one was here in Mass,
Yeah.
and we were doing EVPs, and we kept getting the name Seth. And then we went to Rhode Island, and he came up again. A lot on the ghost box.
Following us.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you got a residential ghost from somewhere that's attached to somebody here. Mm-hmm. You?
Yeah, good old Seth.
Go for it. I don't know. It's just a team. It seems like every time
We
do
thought
the
it was
ghost
the
box-
first house until we went to Rhode Island.
Yeah, we did a Peabody resident, and then we went to Rhode Island. We heard Seth like a lot. I mean, the first case we did, we got Seth. I probably got it about 25 times on the between EVPs and the ghost box.
Yeah.
And then we go down to Rhode
Yeah,
Island. We got another 8 or 9 times. I'm like, what is this going on? But clear as day. Seth. Nobody knows who he is. But
And not even myself. I'm trying to figure it out.
And if you can't figure it out,
Well, sometimes they can be tricky with us like that, especially depends on what we're working with.
We're doing another case. We're doing another case down in Rhode Island in 2 weeks, and we're going down to reveal the evidence, of course, of that first case, and then we're going to go do a witch shop,
Yeah.
crystals and brews. So we'll be curious on whether or not Seth shows up or not. Hope not.
yeah. The one good thing about those type of shops are you can talk about it because
It's all kinds of stuff, probably.
yeah, it's going to be all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
in there.
Right.
That's what happened in the Salem case.
Yeah.
It's Haunted New England Tours. It's that guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a good friend of mine. Remember, to get him through the chamber. We
Mm-hmm.
went down there twice, and we caught some stuff down there.
I'll bet.
Oh, wow.
Well, all of Salem's haunted.
Yeah,
The whole city.
the whole city.
Cursed, whatever.
Yeah, he's like, "You gonna come down in October to investigate?" I said, "No." Go down.
Yeah. Send an Uber.
Yeah, because you're not getting
You're getting near there.
near that
Nope.
place. So we went in end of September, I think it was, and over the summer, and it wasn't that. It was one night. It was rainy, so that helped.
Oh, yeah.
Keep the traffic way
Oh,
out
yeah.
of Salem. So it was a good night.
Mm-hmm.
He finished up his last tour, and we went ahead and went to work
Good.
Nice.
and helped the guy out a little bit.
You want
It's
to
all attached to the building. It wasn't anything to do with him.
even better.
Even better.
Yeah.
So what do you want to
Well,
play?
it's
that
not one of our clearest.
No, but
But-
hey, you know what's
Seth.
good about this? Everybody listening at home, now you're going to hear something that's not a Class A.
Yes,
So
yes.
you can at least understand the differences here. Mm-hmm. So let's play this one. So what did you determine this class to be?
I don't know which one it is, honestly. I haven't.
Okay,
I got so
after
many.
this-
I
He's
don't know
got
which
so
one she
many,
has.
yeah.
So we'll listen to it.
I'm just pulling up our thread here and looking for some EVPs.
Okay.
All right, let's see. I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't do it like that.
Who's me? What's your name?
Could you hear it?
See.
That was a Seth.
Yeah, I
That
could
was
hear
probably a
Seth.
Class C.
All right, let's try it
Yeah,
again.
play-
Ready?
can you-
Let's do it
Yeah, I
again
was gonna
now.
say, can you play that one more time?
Yep, I'm going to play it again.
Who's me? What's your name?
Okay.
I hear SETH.
Yeah, Seth.
That's just me.
Yeah, that's Seth. Yeah.
That's Seth that's been following us for the past 2 investigations.
It's just
Over
he's
and
everywhere.
over and over again.
so always an adventure.
Raquel, didn't we research if there was any type of association
None.
with that name? Didn't we?
We
Yeah.
did a little bit, but I don't remember what we came up with.
Well, the homeowner said there's
You
no
told.
Seth.
Well,
What did I say?
yeah. What I could remember from what you told me that night was it was an ancient deity from Egypt.
Yes, I did say that. That's right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Not saying that it was.
Right.
Yeah.
If that is the case. If
If
that's
it
a big
is.
if.
It's a big if, yeah.
Right. That obviously, I mean, I'm not a firm believer because I do watch TV shows and I don't always believe everything on TV. I do believe spirits do travel with people. I
Oh,
do
God,
believe
yeah.
that. But you don't know what type of house you're going into.
Mm-hmm.
And someone might say my keys move and there's nothing else going on. but they only lived in that house for 10 or 15 years. So they know the 15 years they lived in that house.
Mm-hmm.
But before it, you don't know who played with what,
Who did what, right?
who opened up what portal.
Conjuring portals.
And
Opened up Pandora's box.
Right, and it's even worse when you have a new housing development, and they call you up. I don't know why I'm calling you, but I got a ghost in my house, and I don't understand why. We got a brand new house. Well,
No.
what was there before your brand new house, and what type of burial ground did
Just
they
a cemetery.
yeah.
You know what that speaking of, you know what that reminds me of, correct? The good old movie back in the 1980s called Poltergeist.
Oh, there it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, they dug up
that was scary back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
They dumped up and opened up a cemetery.
Yep.
Yeah.
That didn't help out well.
And that's it.
No.
Shane,
And here's the deal. Back in those days, if you had kids who wanted to pull really, really bad, and you were kind of hard to break it to them, you would say, okay, you want to pull? Watch Poltergeist, and then tell me if you want to pull afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Shane, you had an attachment, didn't you? A year or two ago?
Yeah.
Tell us about it?
I had a pretty severe attachment, to be honest. I believe it came home with me when I was at Murdoch Whitney.
Yep.
Where?
Murdoch Whitney House out in
okay.
Winchendon,
Winchendon
House, I think.
House that is. Yeah, I've heard that one.
It was
the Whitney House, not the Murdoch.
There's actually two of them.
Oh, okay.
Right side by side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
So you brought that home.
There were just some noticeable changes about me, and just I wasn't acting myself. And I mean, waking up at cliche 3 a.m. every morning in cold sweats, and I didn't have a fever. I had a normal appetite. I wasn't sick. It just every morning for a week and a half or so, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I had to take a hot shower just to get myself from feeling the way that I was feeling. And my face was starting to shrink in. When I'm at work on a normal business day, I would start crying for no reason. So there was a lot going on. So I just kind of started making sense, because when I was actually in that home investigating, I was up in a bedroom where she didn't like men too much. So I went in there anyways, just try to get some, intelligent responses to find out who, what, why, when,
Right, why don't you like men?
Yeah.
There's usually a reason behind that.
Basic, simple, investigative questions, and I had left, and I didn't really feel so hot afterwards. I just was disorientated and stuff, and then I didn't really realize it at the time, but obviously it started taking a toll on me a few days afterwards, and just was like enough was enough, and I ended up going to a crystal store, more or less, where they sell crystals and incense and just all that kind of stuff. And I walk in, and the lady who owned the store, she didn't know me. First time she ever met me. Well, there was probably 30 people or so in the store, and she walks right up to me and she goes, I just want to tell you something. When you walked through my front door, your eyes were black.
Oh.
So immediately I'm assuming that she had caught on to something that was attached to me. Obviously, at that point, I was on any type of desperate moment, so I ended up getting some healing bowls done. So they did help, things of that nature, and probably within a couple of days after that, I started kind of going back to my normal self. But I got a bone to pick with that house, and when I go back, I want some questions answered. So
I would too, actually. Why did they pick on you?
I'm just probably going to protect myself a little bit better than probably
Yes,
probably let myself
Shane,
down
we
a
have
little
to
bit when
make
I
you
was
that
up there.
pouch. We have to do that because there's a lot of protection that goes before I even walk into an investigation. I would never just walk in and be like, hello, I'm here. No, there's a lot of preparation that goes on beforehand, so this doesn't happen.
Right.
And then cleansing afterwards, it doesn't happen. And more so for people like myself, but not even for that, just for people like you as well, you know. And Shane, you need to do the same, you know. We've talked about this.
Yeah, because sometimes I just go into a location. I mean, obviously, we respect any location that we go into. We're not in there, we're not, doing any type of provoking or anything like that to piss these things off. It's just sometimes you have your guard down, and they know when your guard is down, they're going to be able to attack you at any point in time. So Raquel's kind of correct. Going into a location, you got to just stand your ground,
Well, you have to be
and
grounded
just let them know
before
that-
you even enter, there's a lot of balancing to this behind the scenes that people don't realize, that what goes into it. For me, myself, as a psychic medium.
You just don't walk into
I just don't walk into a house.
I'm here to communicate with you.
No, I have special markers. I put symbols on myself sometimes, on my feet, behind my neck, where they're known to attach. So...
Well, I knew something was off with me anyways, because most of the time when I'm in a location, whether it's with my team or just if I'm just by myself, most of the time, I tell the spirits, hey, I appreciate for them allowing me to come into their home and to communicate with them. And most of the time, I'm like, listen, you are to stay here at this property. You're not to come home with me. I didn't even say none of that stuff that night. So I, obviously, like I told you, I was kind of just orientated. I didn't feel right, and I just left. So I just completely left myself wide open that night, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, sometimes we make those mistakes. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
And I always tell people that, the paranormal can be interesting, can be exciting, it can be dangerous. Just like walking across the street. It could be interesting, it could be exciting,
Or it could be
or
dangerous.
it could be dangerous. That's just the balance of life.
It is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're dealing with a lot of spiritual things too. And, physical, I mean, it's demanding stuff. I mean, especially if you're, under sort of an oppressive state or anything like that, it's just a lot. It's not easy, put it like that, to just get yourself out of it.
No, and
Not at all.
not at all. No, I mean, I've been to places where I've had to grab team members and get them out of stuff. One of my team members is real good at what she does, but she's also a channeler. I'm a channeler. Sometimes she has to shut down totally because she doesn't have full control of it yet, so that doesn't help.
Right now.
Because if that grabs her, then that's that. Do I go in with cleansing? Not normally, depending upon the situation. Years ago, I had somebody do kind of a past life regression on it.
Okay, I've done that.
Because I couldn't figure out why certain team members things would attach to and leave me the hell alone. Come to find out through this whole situation, I have it. Well, my grandfather always knows what making me feel all the time. But I also have my ex-wife who murdered me back in the 1850s. She's here protecting me too, which I think is kind of comical when you think about it. So you came back with maybe another EVP?
Maybe, yeah.
All right, let's see what this one's going to be. A, B, C.
All right, no, it's probably an A. I forgot I had it actually on my phone. Probably about 6-7 months ago, I went down to a wedding down in Philadelphia, and we did the wedding, and of course, Eastern State Penitentiary was right down the street. So I said, I knew I was going. I brought the recorder, and I said, we're going to go take a tour. So we took a tour. The place was pretty much empty, and my wife, my brother, and sister-in-law went down in one way, and I kind of disappeared with my recorder. And I was down a whole nother wing, and there was nobody else with me. And I started recording. I went to one of the cells, prison cells, and I started asking questions on the recorder. And I got a response, and I'll have to play it for you. Let me know what you think.
Hello? Anybody in here with me right now?
Play it again.
Hello? Anybody in here with me right now?
Any guesses?
That sounded like a female voice.
Yeah.
It said no.
All I thought they said, when I says anybody with me right now, I heard go back.
Oh, okay.
That's what I got. You know, everybody's different.
I know it's a female voice,
I could definitely make out a female voice.
which is interesting
Yeah.
for Eastern State.
Well, it was, I got another one. It wasn't quite like that, but I got a couple other ones, and my wife and my brother, and they're all shaking their head at me, you know, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll go back to being the tourist instead of the investigator, and it's like, boring. But it was fun, you know.
Oh, so
Pretty creepy.
So the wife and brother-in-law and the rest of them are
No,
not big into-
they're doing their own thing, you know, with the headphones on and listen to the tour, and I'm like, nah. So I'll go do my own
So
thing.
that's my buddy. He, being a true investigator that he is, he's like, he brought the recorder just in case. He took advantage of the situation.
Right.
Nobody was around. Why not?
Exactly.
It didn't take up much room in the suitcase. Come on.
Oh,
Like I didn't bring anything else. There's plenty of room in there for stuff.
yeah, especially with digital recording.
Yeah.
It's not that big.
Exactly.
Real easy to sneak in one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. We drove down, so I don't have to worry about security or anything.
No,
No. So it's all good.
and you took the tour.
Yeah. I wasn't really paying much attention. I was like doing my own thing, you know. That's where Al Capone was. They had him there. And we did a little research on that, and that was pretty interesting. He lived a good life there, from what we saw in the cell. Furniture.
Oh, yeah. I
and
remember a
lights
picture
and
that you showed me of his.
TV, and, you know, life was good.
Well, yeah, because he had the money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's who you know, too.
Right, that's
Of course,
A
yeah.
lot of people.
Ah, a lot of people. Yes, a lot. So those are some great EVPs, and they're from all over the place.
Everywhere. Well, you know what? The spirits, as we all know, there's spirits everywhere.
That's right.
Not just one place. You know, I got them in my house. I do EVP sessions in my home, and I get stuff not all the time, but sometimes you get stuff. My wife doesn't really. No, it can be explained. I said, no, not everything.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I've heard and seen, no.
You can't explain it.
No. But, you know, it's fun. It's an adventure, and it fascinates us. We all have a passion for it.
Right, and that's what this is all about. It's passion.
Yep.
And passion for
It's
doing
fun.
what's right.
It really is fun. We're so passionate about it, and you know, it's a pseudoscience, and you know, for us as investigators from, you know, North America all the way to, you know, Asia, you know, we're in this for one thing, and that's just to get the most logical explanations and answers as possible in this field, because it's a pseudoscience, and it just the way it works, you know. But that's what's fun about this field, is just getting, you know, answers questioned. That's not necessarily, you know, your average conversation piece, more or less.
Correct.
It's always something new.
Yes, and the best part about this field is you can put 10 teams in a room, send them to the same location, and everybody has their different ways
Yep.
of investigating. But in the end, those 10 good teams that are there were there for one reason, and that's to help the client out.
Mhm.
That's right.
And no matter if you're using the most modern day equipment, the most antiquated equipment you can find, or anything in the middle.
Right.
Right.
And as you know, and that's what we're there for, is to help. And that's what you guys do, help people.
Yep. Totally.
And that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter if it's you guys, us,
Anyone.
Bob, Asia, Northeast, you know,
Mhm.
Russia, Alaska.
Yeah.
There's paranormal all over the place.
That's right.
One of the best parts
Oh,
is
absolutely.
making a non-believer a believer. When you play the evidence by them, and their eyes just light up, and it's like, oh my God.
Mm. Well, at least they say, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
Now,
Well, I mean, I guess if you're from up in the Northeast, it'd be, oh my God.
Oh, okay, Floridian.
Well,
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's all right. You could throw that in there. What I usually find amusing, and I mean this not in the way of the word amusing, is when you do public talks, and the local TV stations there, and they're filming it for Halloween.
Yep.
You know that.
'Tis the season.
Film it. 'Tis the season. No problem. Film me. I care less. Film me, whoever. And then you have the people in the crowd that want to make their 5 minutes of fame.
All right.
That don't know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. They're out there.
And they're out there, and they come to those. And all they want to do is put their 5 minutes of fame on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I got the ghost hunter trapped on this one. You really don't, because we've heard that a million different ways. Questions asked to us the same way.
Mm-hmm.
A million different ways.
That's right.
And those are the ones that I find even more. It's always good to have a non-believer in the crowd.
Yep.
But please, be respectable.
Right.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, some of these teams that provoke, nah, we don't do that. When you're on an investigation, you start provoking spirits, and not a good
Well, I
thing.
mean, you're playing with fire too, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Be careful what you ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it could come back and burn down.
And
Oh,
yeah.
Burn everything in the way.
And anything else that gets in the way.
Oh, if you
That's
respect
right.
them, they respect you.
Right.
Sometimes.
it'll turn a non-believer into a believer really quick.
Well, no, but even the spirits, if you respect them, they will respect. Sometimes they'll respect you back.
Yep.
On what's going on the land, what happened there,
Right.
what really did happen, how sad it was, and what's going on. So, I mean, it's all interesting. That's what makes us feel so great.
So, yep.
You know. Well, I got a question a little out of the paranormal for all three of you.
Let's do it.
I'm going to use the old terminology, folks, just so you know. Not a fan of new words. What do you think about these UFO sightings that have all of a sudden popped up out of nowhere, or possibly drone sightings?
I don't buy into it as far as spying and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's just a bunch of kids myself, or people that don't know what they're doing with drones and don't obey by the rules. They're just out there getting on TV. You know,
Yeah,
I don't think it's anything.
Wouldn't our authority know that though?
Well, they're supposed to when you get drones, you're not supposed to be so close to an airport and all that. I hear, but you know, they're just doing it.
I mean, I've heard different stories. I mean, from them coming out of the ocean, and people are like, "What's going on here?"
That I believe.
There's a project going on that the government knows about that general public doesn't know about. So, I mean, it could be a mixture of different things. Is it a scare tactic? I have no idea. Again, it's just me, in my opinion. I just think it's something it's a project that's going on that the government is doing, and I just don't think that they want the general public to know about.
Now, have any of you guys actually ever seen a UFO?
Yeah.
You have. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Can you disclose where or no? I don't
Yeah, no, I can't. It was actually at my house in North Reading. Many, many, many years and years ago. I was out on the porch, and I thought I saw an object, but I wasn't sure what it was. And I called my brother, but his babysitter was there, so I talked to her because I know her very well, and her father is in the military. So she called her father, and he's like, nope, we don't have anything over there at all. Like, nothing's in the area or whatnot. And then, so she started freaking out, and then I started to freak out. But I actually have a video somewhere on my VHS of, like, these lights coming over. I know this sounds crazy, but I actually called the police that night because I was like, what is happening here? Like, I probably sounded like a lunatic. But, yeah, I definitely saw things.
Now, how about you,
Shane?
Jane? Have you ever seen anything?
In relation to unidentified flying objects, I have never, ever in my existence of 41 years ever seen a UFO ever.
Interesting.
I'm not really.
So I don't have any stories to say about UFOs. I mean, I wish. Do I believe that there are UFOs out there. Absolutely. Have I ever seen one? Not yet. I do believe that we can't be the only race in the entire universe.
Right. Now, just okay. So I'm going to ask another question.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
I know we're all into the paranormal, so it covers a wide swath of
Yep.
things. If you don't believe or you don't do this stuff, not a big deal. You ever seen a cryptid or Bigfoot? Heard anything like that?
No. I want to.
My sister-in-law did, but not me.
Where's
really?
that?
Maine.
Oh, Maine.
In Maine. Yeah, she actually, her and her friend, they got stuck on the golf cart in the middle of the night. They were drinking. And
Oh, there it is.
yeah, there it is. But anyways, they ended up following the sound until it got too loud, and then they ended up calling my brother to pull them out. They were so scared.
What kind of sound?
Like, I don't even know.
Growl?
Growl, I think, yeah. How about you?
Bigfoot? Well, UFO I've seen quite a bit. Down there, I was driving down to this place we call the British Broadcasting Company. It was actually a chicken place in Portsmouth. And I like to take back roads. I'm not a big highway guy. So we're on the back roads one night, and I had my father's old car. It was a new car, but he had passed on. And I had an older junk, so we got rid of my junk, and we kept the, moved up the car a little. If I had stopped, I could actually stand up and touch the bottom of this thing.
What?
Yeah, it flew over the car from the ocean. You know where Route 1 in Rye goes over the marshlands?
Yeah.
It was right there.
Wow.
Right over.
Wow.
And I actually thought I could touch, and then it went into the tree line and then down. Well, if something went down like that big,
Yeah.
guess what you're going to see? I wouldn't be here today.
Right,
Because that was only probably a half a mile up the road.
Wow.
If that was a regular plane that crashed, I'd
would've
be
been-
gone.
Right.
Just
Right.
because of the explosion of jet
The
fuel.
impact, yeah.
It's not
Wow.
easy things. And then coming down Route 16, another
Yep.
night. Now,
Wow.
Route 16.
Conway?
No, further north. Jackson.
Way up. Jackson, yep.
So, when you come down Route 16,
Take a left.
you take a left,
Yep.
302's to the
Yep.
right. I'm
Yep.
coming down that way to take a left. It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm driving home. Because I was up in Berlin at that time. Driving back to Massachusetts.
Wow. Okay.
Right across, do you know the gas station that's there?
On the corner? Yeah.
At the corner where you turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right over the gas station.
Really?
Heading towards 302. Gone.
Wow.
3 of them.
3.
3 of them.
Huh.
And then I was at a wedding for my former executive director of this studio.
Yep.
In what I call the Sandown Triangle, which you guys talked to Bob. As soon as the weather warms up,
Let's go.
Yeah,
we're
we're,
going
let's
in.
go.
to-
ready.
We're going to get you into those places.
Oh, let's
Great.
go.
So I sat down. We're watching the wedding at Zavigno's. They wouldn't allow cameras at the wedding.
Okay.
I couldn't even take out my phone.
Boring.
Oh,
Boring.
Boring.
So it's an outdoor wedding. They have the gazebo where the
Yeah.
couples meet, and then there's 3 rows of chairs. That's where the immediate family sat.
Yeah.
Then you have an open space. That's where the wedding party would walk in.
Yep.
Then you have another row of chairs. I was at this corner
Yeah.
of the chair. So literally the wedding party, if he would have stepped the wrong way, would have stepped on my toes. That's, that's how close it
Yeah.
is over there.
Right.
2 hot dog shaped UFOs while they were doing their vows. She wasn't a believer in the paranormal. He's actually from South America. They met on
Yeah.
one of those.
YouTube,
Imagine,
Facebook,
yeah.
or
Yeah. He's a great guy. They're still married. They've been together like 3-4 years now. They're happy and whatnot. But yeah, cryptids, I've never seen one.
me neither. But if
But
you
I met
watched
some
Monster and
close-
Mysteries with the praying mantis one,
Yeah,
that freaks me out.
I bet it does. How about you, Shane? Have you ever saw a cryptid?
No, I've never seen a cryptid, but I will be the first in line. I will wait out in 8 hours of 12 feet
Yes, I
snow
will.
if I had to experience a cryptid. I'm big into that stuff. I'm a huge fan of them.
Yeah,
It's
me
just,
too.
oh man,
So
that one day.
right. The reason why I asked, there was a reason behind this.
Uh-oh.
All right, Shane, I think you might go with this because you're heavy into researching, right? We all know the house you grew up in, North Reading.
Reading.
Reading has had some paranormal experiences. Okay, Now we look at what we call triangles or flap areas.
Flap. I never heard that one before.
My friend, God rest his soul, he passed away this year. He called them flap areas. He investigated down in Texas, Pennsylvania, and all over the place.
There's triangles everywhere.
Right. So the why he called it a flap area is because like the Bridgewater Triangle, you have an area.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go outside the area, you're still seeing UFO, Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of calling it a triangle, he called it a flap.
Makes sense.
That does
His name
make
was
sense.
Paulino. He actually published about 8 to 10 books in the paranormal. He's a parapsychologist. He passed away after 53 years of
Research.
paranormal research.
Wow.
He's from Rhode Island.
Oh.
Originally. Still actually lived in
Wow.
Rhode Island until the day he passed away. But you can actually see some of his videos on
YouTube.
LCAT's YouTube page, HC Media. I had him on many a times on my show. We became good friends. When you have
What's his name? I want to write that down.
Paul Eno, Paul, and then Eno, Eno.
Paul Eno.
Eno.
I know Robbie, our other co-founder, is into cryptids too. Him and
Right.
Shane. They want to go up to Maine and do a couple of things up there, but I said, I can't walk that far. I ain't doing 5 miles into the woods.
No, you and me will sit back.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Move
Yeah, I
on.
got a couple.
I'm still trying to see a moose too.
Yeah, I've seen him.
I got a couple cryptid cases possibly coming up. I'll
Oh, yeah?
get hold of you.
Oh.
If you
Awesome,
guys are,
awesome.
Oh, God,
We're
yeah.
interested, yeah.
because cryptid cases are like paranormal. Sometimes you get nothing.
It's all the same.
Right.
But at least you're walking out in the woods and enjoying nature
Yeah.
too. Mm-hmm. So it is what. So I'm working on trying to
Any hints on where?
in the Ossipee Triangle
Ossipee.
Nice.
Okay.
because I've done a lot of research on the Ossipee Triangle.
Hour and a half. We
So-
can do that.
What happens is this: like you had your house in Reading,
Mm-hmm.
you had paranormal activity. You also had UFO activity.
Yes.
Now you have these flap areas of triangles, and I've done a lot of research on the Bridgewater, the Ossipee Triangle, the Sandown, which I coined the Sandown Triangle, and then the Salem, Wyndham, Derry Angle, because the Ossipee Triangle is just ridiculous.
Really?
I love Lauren Coleman. I have the greatest respect in the world for that guy. But the Ossipee Triangle starts at America's Stonehenge in Salem, goes up to Jackson, New Hampshire, back down to Rochester,
Oh, my
back
God.
to Salem.
Wow.
How can anybody
Cover that.
do that type of research? So what I did was I broke it down. I got the sand down because of all that. See, when I have cases, I take maps of an area, if I'm in there long enough, and I start pinning maps.
Yep.
Bigfoot, then I'll do my own research with UFO pages and stuff. I firmly believe where there's these angles of triangles, flap areas, where there's paranormal, there's always some type of cryptid, and always a UFO. They all go hand in hand.
I was just about to ask you that, if you were a believer of that.
Yeah.
The cryptids and the UFOs are intertwined, really.
Yeah.
And I think they're interdimensional.
Yeah, they are.
I
firmly
totally believe
they're
that.
interdimensional.
That's why nobody has any bodies. People see them, they disappear.
Right.
Right.
You know, they're going.
I
It's
had
like
a
a
report-
yeah.
I
So
had
it's,
a report in the White Mountains, and I can't say from who because he'd lose his job.
Okay.
And I get a lot of those from public officials. Let's put it that way, okay?
Fair
I have
enough.
ties to all these people. And he said, this couple, very legit, was walking in the Ossipee Mountain Range. Now, if you want to hike the Ossipee Mountain Range, I would suggest hiking Mount Washington. I
Yeah.
climbed that before the Ossipee Mountains. You know why?
Why?
Well, the Ossipee Mountains are volcanic. They're about 2,000, 3,000 foot as compared to Mount Washington, which is over 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's easier to walk, a mountain like this
No.
or a
No,
mountain like this?
Yeah.
Right.
Mount Washington might go up 4,000, but it's like this.
Yeah.
There are parts that go like this, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But the Ossipee Range, more of it's like this.
Oh.
So this couple went up to the Ossipee Range. They weren't looking for anything. They heard some howls.
Coyotes.
Coyotes, whatever.
Yeah.
They saw this hairy, tall creature. They got up to where it was, finally. Now, if something fell, I don't care if you're human,
Yeah.
you're going to scream.
Yeah.
There were no screams, and when he made it around the corner, they thought there might be a cave, so that's why they went there. It was straight down.
Okay.
Oh.
So where did this thing? Because if it fell, it's going to scream.
It's
Just
gonna
like
scream,
you,
yeah.
me, a bobcat,
Yep.
a weasel.
Right.
It's falling to its death. It's going to scream.
Right.
No screams. That's when I said they got to be interdimensional.
You got beamed up.
He got beamed up or beamed down.
Scotty.
Yeah. So
Well,
what
I
do you
think too
of
as
that?
well. I think
What do you think of that one, Shane?
I think since we're on that, this is just my belief. I believe, like, do you remember the movie Predator
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
So I believe that they have cloaking ability. They can blend in with their surroundings and just kind of cloak into kind of an atmosphere that they're in, kind of like almost like an invisible state, but then they can
Camouflage.
re-uncloak and pop up into another spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good belief. I mean, that's very possible. Mm-hmm. That's extremely possible. I mean, that's what makes this field so great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to look at. I mean, when you look at everything out there.
So much.
There's doors everywhere.
Yes. All right. Well, we're coming to the end of the show. We actually went over by 15 minutes.
Ah.
Oh, my
That's all
God.
right. We had so much fun. I'm going to have you guys back on because
Okay.
we had so much fun.
Okay.
I hate to break your arm.
No, we'll be back.
Shane, would you like to come back on?
Oh, I thought we were still staying on for like 2 more hours. No, absolutely, my friend.
All right. Thank you,
Anytime that
Shane.
you want us to come back, we'll come back.
Yes, we will have you back on. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you for
How
having
can
us.
people get a hold of Deadtime? Hey, we better
Well,
do that. so
we're on
people can
Facebook on the Deadtime Paranormal Society, or you can reach us by email through deadtimespirits@gmail.com.
All righty. Well, I want to thank everybody tuning in across the great ocean, Europe, Africa, Afghanistan, Canada. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And next week we have another great guest on, and we'll have this guest back on. I want to thank everybody again. I'm heading to the crypt now. Good night, everybody.
Blessed be.